waves and slowly gained distance. Her arms ached, the skin prickling from the exertion, but the adrenaline kept her going. To her, it was a win-win. If she made it to the island, her pay packet would be ludicrously high. If the boat went down, she would know how to survive. But those below? Well, the sea would wipe them out in silence. Their competitors might even reward her. She pulled alongside the dock and killed the throttle. The hull bumped against the wooden structure in time with the somewhat calmer waves. With a few graceful bounds, she hopped to the rail and tossed a loop of rope over a post. Temporary moorings secured, she swiftly wrapped lines around the permanently anchored cleats and knotted the ropes in place. When that job was complete, she knocked on the hatch and informed the passengers they could disembark. A small group of green and white faces rose from the depths. Assistants held umbrellas and guided them down the walkway and onto the black sand of the small beach. The cove was only 100 feet wide and bordered by the steep rise of black rock. A neat stairway had been carved into the stone, trailing upward to the island's main body. The stairs were smooth and decorated in white marble, yet another egregious display of wealth that Kristen rolled her eyes at. She'd been a woman of meager means for most of her life, the world of the wealthy a far stretch from her upbringing. She led the way ahead, lighting the torches to illuminate their passage. A small cave stood beside the bottom of the stairway, leading into darkness that Kristen had never dared to tread. She scaled the stairs, the troop grumbling behind her. Kristen's legs burned. She couldn't imagine how the residents felt, knowing that many were hardly the exercising type. She wondered why, with all of their wealth, they hadn't found a better way to climb after the nauseating boat trip. But it wasn't her job to wonder. Her job was to lead. As she crested the top, the community unfolded before her. High, golden fencing skirted the entire island flat, standing at least twice as high as Kristen. A gate, not unlike those she had seen in depictions of the pearly gates, barred their way. A small boxy office stood on either side, the silhouettes of guards inside. They stood at the arrival of powerful flashlights and emerged from their booths, assault rifles in hand. Kristen noticed the bulbous turrets stationed at intervals around the gates. The island's defenses were comprehensive and aggressive, a stark juxtaposition to the creature comforts within. Kristen approached the guards. They were monoliths of men and women, their eyes shielded behind thick, dark glasses, despite the storm. Muscles rippled, the reflection of the flashlight catching the slick, rain-covered flesh of arms that jutted out of Kevlar vests. One grim-faced individual approached Kristen, holding a hand out flat. Kristen held up a badge she'd drawn from her inner pocket. "Island clearance. ID 45892. The guard lowered his arm, then turned his head to the approaching residents. They stumbled forward, ignoring the guards as they beelined for the gate. Amber lights flickered to green as they passed. Kristen was aware that the sensors were some of the most sophisticated and powerful in the world, able to read biomarkers from dozens of feet away. The gates retracted as the bowed-over individuals clutching their coats around themselves staggered onward and home. Kristen stood in wait, counting each as they passed. There had been 14 with her on the boat. 6 passed through the gates with no issue. A young man with curly brown hair that stuck flat to his head passed the scanner. The light turned red. A beeping sound emitted, informing the guards of the anomaly. The atmosphere changed in a heartbeat. The guards turned to the individual, a man whom Kristen was certain called himself Tiger. He had a kind smile, and had seemed like a good guy when he transferred the travel money into her account. Now, that smile faded. "On the ground, now!" a guard called. Tiger held up his hands, eyes wide. He hesitated, whether through fear or stupidity.